we'll go ahead and get started. I'd like to welcome the defending champion of the Hero World Challenge, Viktor Hovland. Victor, thanks for joining us for a few minutes. A little bit dicey out there today. We'll start with just taking you back to last year, just some thoughts on the victory here last year and the excitement level building around coming back and trying to defend this week.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun last year. Had a great finish, and it was kind of one of those victories that didn't really feel like I was in contention up until kind of with 9 holes to play. So that was fun to be in that position and then capitalize. It's a cool resort, and I'm happy to be back and hopefully play some of the same golf that I did last year.
And I asked you on the way in, just what is your plan kind of coming up and as we ease into 2023?
I usually go back home to Norway for Christmas and spend time with family and take it easy. I never like to take a lot of time away from golf. I'll probably still try to hit balls inside and stuff, but it's pretty limited what you can do as far as getting good practice in. So, but it'll be nice to take some time off.
Okay, and I got one more question, then if y'all want to put your hands up, in the interest of time, we'll jump right into questions. Kind of assess 2022. If you would, how your season felt, what you felt good about, and what you're looking forward to working on.
Yeah, I feel like I've made some good progression in terms of, I would say I'm a better chipper. I'm better around the green. And I've taken a huge step in the right direction in terms of putting. I didn't really feel like I was a great putter before. Now I feel like I'm a consistently good putter, which is a huge strength. However, I do feel like I have lost a little bit of the consistency in terms of ball striking week to week. I think it's helped me a lot that I've gained some more speed and I have a few more shots that maybe I didn't have before, but I think the bulk of the shots, the basic shots, are not as good as what it used to be, and that's 90% of the shots that you hit. So just trying to get back to a little bit of that consistency.
Okay, well, we'll take a few questions right here.
2 questions, Victor. The first one is, last year you were witness to, at this tournament, you were witness to Colin giving the engagement ring to his fiancée at that time. Were you there for his marriage? And did he make sure that the way you stole the tournament from him, did he make sure that you got a good gift for him?
I was not in the wedding, but we're staying together this week, and sounded like it was a pretty good wedding, and went to dinner with JJ, his caddy, and heard a lot of stuff about it. So it sounded like it was a good weekend, and it was. Speaking of the finish from last year, I'm sure he's a little bit upset about that, but. He's going to be in that spot many, many more times, and it's just sometimes you're going to finish that way. But in his case, most of the time he's probably going to finish it off. So it's just one of those that I got maybe the upper hand on that one, but he might get one back the next time. So certainly won't be giving him any gifts for that.
And my second question was that given how 2023 is going to shape up, and you will have to play the elite tournaments and things like that, is there going to be anything different in your schedule that you're planning, given this year hasn't been really up to your kind of high standards?
Sorry, can you just just speaking about the schedule in general, was that the question? Yeah.
Are you making any changes in your schedule? What kind of things are you planning to do?
Yeah, I don't think not too many changes. It's more, I'm probably going to play a lot of the same events that I have been playing. A lot of the elevated events are pretty much the tournaments that I were planning on playing. Just maybe that we're going to have to play a little bit more. So it's going to be a very busy year next year.
Okay, we'll go Rex and then Fergie.
Victor, you talked about your improved putting. Can you just talk through that process of how you felt like you sort of came out the other end?
Yeah, I mean, it's trying to break putting into categories. You got to start the ball on line, you got to have good speed control, and then you got to have good green reading. I always felt like I've started the ball really well online, and I've had pretty decent speed, but I would have weeks where I would start balls online and I would miss 6-footers, so because I just wasn't reading it right. So I think aim point was a huge step in the right direction for me. Some people just see the breaks naturally and they can figure out where to aim. I guess I didn't have that angular acuity that some other people have, and aim point was a way for me to trust a system that at least gets me closer to the hole instead of just a wild guess.
And kind of an unrelated, do you understand how the PIP works? And I think you finished 20th on the list. Is that what you think about where you should have landed?
I don't know. I haven't really paid too close attention to it, to be honest. I just saw my name on the list, and I thought, hey, that's nice. But, I don't know if I should have been 18 or 17 or 21. I don't really know, to be honest.
Fergie.
Interesting, Victor, on your schedule, which I was just looking at. You played pretty much all the elevated events anyway, except for Hartford, which you were going to, and then withdrew.
Say that again?
You were in Hartford last year and then withdrew, right? Your plan was to play
Yeah.
Hartford at one point. But I'm curious, in a Ryder Cup year, how will you balance what's required of you with playing in Europe? And kind of as a second part to that question, do you have any thoughts on any of the live players and their eligibility for Ryder Cup?
So with the schedule being as dense as it is, it's going to be tough to play all those events. And I think in a singular year, you can make that work easy, but I hope the future of my career is not going to be scheduled in that way, where I'm basically forced to play 23, 24 events or 25 events a year. Now, I might do that in a certain year, but I think being essentially forced to do so is not how I would like to have my career look in the future. When it comes to the live players and the Ryder Cup eligibility, there's certain tournaments that you have to play, and obviously with them playing on a different tour, it's going to be hard for them to meet the requirements. Whether they should be eligible or not, I don't really have a strong opinion on. I'm going to defer that to the European Tour and the Ryder Cup committee and let them figure that out. Say that again? Still haven't made my decision there, but it's just looking at the schedule and with the amount of traveling, it's something that it doesn't look too great. So, but we'll see what happens.
Daniel, 1, 2, and then you'll pass it down to 3, please.
So you just would prefer, you're saying, to be able to pick and choose whichever ones you want to play?
Obviously, we want the PGA Tour to become a better product, and there's going to have to be some give and take. And I'm open to give a little bit of the freedom of picking a schedule to create a better product. But at the same time, I don't want to give up that freedom if that means that if it's not worth it, essentially. And what that looks like, I don't know, but having the freedom to pick and choose whatever events you want to play in is pretty nice. But at the same time, I think the more often the best players in the world meet and play it against each other, I think that's better for everyone. But there's a lot of other details that have to be taken care of.
Do you feel like that's how most guys feel, that they have to make a little bit of maybe a personal sacrifice in order for the group to move forward?
I think that's kind of a lot of the conversations that we've had, but at the same time, we got to define how much we're giving and what the end goal is, and then we got to run a cost-benefit analysis on that. But we just need to figure it out.
Okay, we go right here, and if you'll pass it here, and then we'll finish up in the back.
Victor, you were talking about reading the greens. Have you tried out something that Matt Fitzpatrick has been going gaga about, the augmented reality with putt view, which he says that has helped him read the greens a lot better, get a better idea of it? Have you tried that?
Is that the putting simulator that you can?
With the VR glasses.
Oh, really? No, I haven't heard about that. I know he's probably one of the best screen readers out there in the world, so it would maybe be worth the time there. But that's kind of a little bit of the point with Aimpoint is that there's a lot of optical illusions out there, and with Aimpoint, I don't really have to trust my eyes. So I've kind of given up on trying to train my eyes. I'm just going to train my feet instead, and so far it's worked out well there.
Okay, right here, and then we'll finish up in the back.
Do you have an ideal number of tournaments that you would see yourself playing in, say, 4 years from now?
Not really. I'm people that know me well, they know that I'm a terrible planner, and that probably drives them insane because I won't really give them a straight up answer as to what I'm going to do tomorrow or next week. But if I feel like I'm playing great, I can go out there and play 4 weeks in a row, no problem. But if I don't feel like I have my game, I do not want to be at a golf tournament. And I just want to go home and work on it until I feel like I'm in a good spot again. So that's why the freedom is pretty important to me. There are certain times where, I might play 25, 26, 27 events out of the year if I'm feeling great and having a fun time on the golf course. But if that's not the case, well, hey, I just want to be at home until I figure it out. So, I know a lot of guys like to look at the schedule and they pick, okay, these are the times that I'm playing and that's it. But I'm probably on the opposite side of the spectrum there.
And do you feel like you've been able to voice certain concerns? Do you feel like you've been outspoken at all during these player meetings, or do you feel like you're more listening than contributing?
I've been doing a lot of listening, but contributing where I feel like I have something to say. But I think it's interesting to listen to, and I feel like we're all in the same place of trying to make the PGA Tour a better product. So, it's just kind of cool to be involved, I guess.
Again, we'll finish up in the back.
Victor, you spoke about playing 25, 26 tournaments a year. Playing so many tournaments, would that kind of affect your goals you might have at the majors, which ultimately is what every player aspires for?
Yeah, that's interesting because some guys like to play a lot before a major. Some guys don't like to play a lot before a major. And that's where I think it's very subjective. I've kind of taken a week off the week before majors, and although I'd like to play better in the majors, but I think statistically it has shown that I usually play better the first week coming back from a little bit of a break. So that's how I like to kind of set up my schedule a little bit. But then obviously if you're forced to play a number of times, that might not, you might not have the freedom to pick a schedule like that. But for other guys, that might be the perfect fit. So, I just think it's very subjective.
Okay, one last ad, Radam.
Victor, when was the last time you felt so frustrated that you didn't want to be at a tournament?
Not too long ago. I felt like my ball striking just hasn't quite been up to par, and it's a little frustrating showing up to events when you don't feel like you have your best stuff, and you might hit a 7-iron from the fairway and you might hit it to 30 feet, and it's not a bad shot, but it's just kind of the way you hit the shot, and that okay, that was just not good, and you don't have the confidence over the ball thinking that, okay, I'm going to stuff this 7-iron, because that's what I used to do when I first came out here, and the last 2 years basically it's been pretty deadly from the fairway, and it's just a little frustrating when the ball isn't doing what you want it to be doing, and it feels like the whole day is going to be a little bit of a grind, but that's golf, and it's a challenge, and you just have to fight through it.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a free market. They can do whatever they want. That's certainly not going to take away the memories that I have from that place. I don't know what the tour has announced, but I have a hope that we can still come back there and still host an event there. I don't see the issue logistically with having 2 tournaments there. And then maybe the PGA Tour can show that, hey, this is how we run an event there, and make it a competition in that way. See who shows up and see which event is better. But if not, then I'll try to find other places that I can win on.
All right, Victor, thank you.
Yep.